Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, horses and cows, sheep and whatever. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this live stream is going to get wild. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to get wild. It's going to get weird. There is a point in this live stream where I know with 100% certainty I'm going to be talking about stuff, and I'm going to be losing followers, guys. Do you know what? There's things we need to talk about because I believe they're real. You believe they're real. We believe they're real collectively. We need to talk about them. We're also going to be initially focusing on the protests in Epping, the protests that are breaking out all over the United Kingdom right now. We have got protests, guys. Listen, you know what? I would probably miss some of the protests that are breaking out all over the United Kingdom. I want to focus on Epping tonight because Epping does seem like it's ground zero for all these protests. Now, let's just have a quick recap. There's been protests every Thursday and Sunday I believe it's Thursday and Sunday in Epping. Now, obviously, those of you know this was a protest, and these protests broke out because of an alleged incident involving a migrant and a underage girl. Now, what was the incident? Well, we're on TikTok and the new algorithm's there, so I can't say, but you know that thing that you're probably thinking of that migrants normally get sent to prison for doing with underage girls? Yeah, it's that. But I want to talk about this tactically first, guys, and strategically. First of all, the protests in Epping have sucked up resources from Essex, Staffordshire, Lincolnshire, Norfolk, and Suffolk police. Tell me if that's sustainable, guys. So tell me there, what happens now if a protest breaks out in Norfolk? What happens if a protest breaks out in Suffolk? What happens if a protest breaks out in Leicestershire? What happens if a protest breaks out in Staffordshire? And you know what, guys? What happens if another protest breaks out in Essex? Just a quick question here. Just a quick question here. Luke Jacobs, you're not watching the Women's Euros, England versus Spain. No, guys, I'm not watching the Women's Euros. I mean, you know what? When I found out women had a football team, I was like, what do you mean women have got a football team? Like, literally, guys, honestly, like, you know, everybody will say, right? I told you I'm going to lose followers tonight, guys. I don't care. I'm going to lose followers tonight. When you ask people when the best time was to be alive, when was the best time to be alive? You know, and people will always say like the 50s and the 60s. Let me just Google when women got the vote. Just Googling this, guys. I'm just Googling this, guys. See what we say. What does it say? Oh, it doesn't give me. I'm sure it was like the 50s or something. Hang on. 1918. I'm sure it was after that. I'm pretty sure it was the 60s. I'm pretty sure it was the 60s. No, I am totally wrong, guys. I stand corrected. Listen at me being all bigoted, and then I'm literally standing and correcting myself in real time. So I was wrong about that, ladies and gentlemen. I was totally wrong about that. It was 1918, following the suffragette movement. Wow. Listen, guys. I'll stand corrected. Anyway, I think my point was right. Protests breaking out all over the United Kingdom now, guys. Summer of Carnage is in full swing. I wasn't sure which direction this was going. I wasn't sure which direction this was going. Because if you guys remember on Thursday, so Thursday just gone, there was a protest in the rain. And listen, guys, you know, hats off to those people out there in the rain. That was a strong move. But those guys, who did protest, they were not allowed to protest by the hotel, so they had to go down to the, so they marched down to the council office. The council, Epping Council, voted unanimously. And as it was reported, we was on the live stream in real time, guys. And sometimes when you're on the live stream, information comes in, especially when you're doing it live. It's very difficult. The initial information that was in was that the hotel was going to get closed. Turns out that's not what they'd voted for at all. What they'd voted unanimously for was to ask the government to close the hotel. So the reality is the hotel may well still stay open for a long time. Now, what I said at that time, I said, listen, guys, I'm not sure what direction this is going to go. The two directions that I'm looking at here, first of all, it could go left and you could have a situation where people lose. The people are like, oh, well, do you know what? We've done what we can now. The council have asked the government to close it down. We don't need to go out and protest anymore. Or it could go the other way and say, well, do you know what? We're not stopping these protests until that hotel is closed. And looking at the scenes now, ladies and gentlemen, it has clearly gone the latter. Right, I'm just getting up a live stream. Give me a second, guys. I'm just getting up a live stream. And also, there's the other thing we're going to talk about today, guys. There is the other thing that we are going to talk about today that is wild. Hang on, let me get this live stream up. First of all, guys, massive numbers here tonight in Epping. Lots of people in, the numbers are huge. Hang on. That's not, right, let me get that over there. What's just happened? What's just happened? What's just happened? Right, the numbers, there's a lot more in Epping tonight, guys. There's a lot more people at the Epping protest tonight. And listen, because of the online safety bill, we're not allowed to watch it, are we? We're not allowed to watch it. We're not allowed to share it. I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about what we're seeing. So I will try and cast the images, guys, as best I can. Lots of people, lots of the counter protesters turning up. In fact, guys, listen, I'm going to be quite fair here, and I'm going to say this is the most counter protesters I've ever seen, guys. All right, this is the most counter protesters that I've ever seen in. This is from 1 hour ago, guys. Give me a second. Don't let the far right divide us with their hatred and violence. Do you know what? Again, I think these people, again, you can see them all with the printed signs. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal to watch, guys. It's phenomenal to watch. So, guys, listen, I am focusing today on what's happening in Epping. Yeah, guys, listen, without a doubt, there's more counter protests. Why are they waving Palestinian flags? Why are they waving? Guys, can somebody let me know? Can somebody let me know, please, in the comments, how waving a Palestinian flag is standing up to racism? Please, can somebody explain that to me? Just anyone. I'd really appreciate that if somebody could explain how waving a Palestinian flag is somehow standing up to racism. I don't know how that works, guys. I really don't know how that works, but this is what I'm seeing, guys. Okay, the placards, guys. Listen, every time you see those placards that are printed, that are mass produced, that are all the same. And again, what I'm seeing now is people with handwritten signs. And I do think more people are watching my videos. Yeah, guys, massive scenes tonight in Epping. Massive scenes. Somebody just said the stench in the air is bad as soon as all these and again, when people are protesting outside a hotel to protect children, and people are counter protesting that, I want to know what their message is. And guys, listen, and I mean this with 100% sincerity. If somebody can explain to me what their message is and how protecting children is somehow racist, like, I don't know, guys. Listen, maybe I'm not of that cognitive. Maybe I'm not of those cognitive facilities to understand how protecting your children is, protecting your children is racist. So not protecting your children would be like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, guys. Did you hear the comment there? These might as well be at a Palestine march. And then she says it'll be just stop oil next week. Useful paid idiots, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you guys who've watched my videos on subversion, you guys know that part of ideological subversion is to fund, enforce, and what's the other word when you spread something and not influence, and you guys know what I'm talking about, to fund and enforce radical fringe groups. Guys, listen, this is the most feisty I've seen these crowds in Epping. This is by far the most feisty I've seen these crowds, guys. There is a lot of energy. There's a lot of police. There's a lot of kids there as well. There's a lot of kids there. I'm looking at the crowd now. There's quite a lot of kids there. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, that is not all we have got to talk about tonight. We have got to talk about the... Oh, hang on. So you've got this drum beat, haven't you? You've got this drum beat that's like bum 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 bum. Like, you not have a better drum beat, another drum beat, right? Listen, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got the Epping thing going on, and also the United Kingdom. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, right? I need to caveat this. This is my speculation. This is my opinion, and this is my analysis. I believe that the United Kingdom was hit last night by a massive attack. You know, this is an unprecedented event. Nobody's talking about it because nobody understands how big this was. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about something here, guys, that I kind of haven't got to the bottom of it yet. Last night, I'll just give you I'll give you what I said on the video, and then I'll elaborate a little bit more. So last night, we had the worst night's sleep ever. I was anxious walking around the house. I was scared. I just thought something evil was around. I wanted to get outside. I just wanted to stand outside. Sarah was sleeping on the landing. It was just bonkers, guys. It was crazy. It was crazy last night, guys. All right. Absolutely crazy. So, I phoned my sister. I said, how did you sleep last night? She said, oh my God, I couldn't sleep a wink. The dogs were going crackers. They wanted to get out of the house. My husband couldn't sleep. We were just in bits all night. I said, what time? She said, literally between from 12 and 3. I was like, wow, that was the same. So I phoned my friend up. I said, mate, how did you sleep last night? By this time, Sarah's phoning her friends up. Literally, guys, everybody I've spoken to, that I know in my personal sphere, had the same things. Between 12 and 3, something happened to the UK last night, guys, all right? Between 12 and 3, something happened to the United Kingdom last night. Now, I don't know whether this was like a solar flare. I don't know whether it was like an EMP, some sort of 5G, an alien attack. Guys, I'm not ruling it out, or some sort of demonic assault on the United Kingdom. So I put this out as a video. Guys, and I said to you guys, I said, listen, you know what? I thought I'll just go out there. If I'm wrong and I get ridiculed, absolutely fine. But it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of people in the United Kingdom last night who suffered the exact same thing as we did, it can't be coincidence, guys. It's not coincidence. Now, I don't know what that is. I certainly know it wasn't normal. The only thing I can class it as is an attack. I spoke to a friend of mine. Now, this is where it's going to get weird, guys. All right, this is where it's going to get weird. So, if you want, you might want to like pause and come back in like 5 minutes when we're talking about Epping, when we're talking about global events, when we're talking about gangs, tanks, bombs, guns, munitions, tactics, infantry, geopolitics. All right, so you may want to jump back in 5 minutes, guys. All right, I spoke to a spiritualist this morning. I've not spoken to them for a while, since I was like in my woo-woo phase and meditated. Now, this spiritualist, she said to me, well, I'll tell you, in fact, you know, I don't need, hang on, let me see if I can read her message. Hang on, give me a second. Right, so basically what she said, there's a war going on. Again, guys, this is wild. So this is what she said to me, right? She said there's a war going on in another realm, in the spirit world. There's a war going on and there's a spiritual uprising. She's saying we can't see it, but we can feel it. And what's happening in the world is the manifestation. Guys, this is wild. I get it. This is wild. But I'm going to go down this path. And if I can't find a better explanation to what happened last night, this is the explanation I'm going to go with, guys. Okay, this is what I'm going with at the moment, right? She actually said to me, look, Sean, she said, Sean, look, you don't want to go down this hole, because once your eyes are open to this, you can't close them. So she said, look, basically, she felt it as well. She was like, yeah, I totally felt it. And she actually said, I was expecting your messaging me. She said, right, Sean, basically there is a war going on in another realm, in an alternate dimension that we can't see. That may be why gravity is so weak, but that's me saying that. She said, this is forces of good and forces of darkness, and they have been fighting since the beginning of time. We can't see them. We can only feel them. And what's happening in the world right now is a manifestation of the energy that they're creating. Guys, look, I know this is going to be wild, and I know it is. It is wild. It's wild. I said, is it demons or is it aliens? What is it? She said, it's both. I said, what do you mean? She said, demons are aliens. Aliens are demons. And I was like, oh, my head's fried. But listen, guys, I don't know. Listen, it's totally up to you. I'm relaying this information, guys. All right. I'm relaying this information, and I'm trying to give you guys a skeptical view on this. All right. Not, you know what? A skeptical but open-minded view. All right. So remember when all the UFOs when all the drones were being seen over New Jersey? Guys, listen, I wanted that to be aliens more than anyone. Believe me, more than anyone, I wanted that to be aliens. After watching a few of those videos, what I actually said is, and I did videos on this, all my stuff's public record, I came out, I said, right, guys, this is more than likely, this is the US military practicing, doing an exercise. Can they access an egress from Northrop Grumman's Manta Ray drone? Go and Google that, guys, if you want, and communicate and relay their sensor readings back to HQ using Starlink. Turns out it wasn't aliens. Donald Trump kind of confirmed what I was saying as soon as he got in office. So straight away, guys, I debunked that, right? And I do debunk quite a lot of stuff. There's plenty of stuff I can't debunk. So I'm just going to leave it there, guys, all right? I'm going to leave it there. If there's any more comments, any more comments about it, we will talk about it. The chat is open, guys. The chat is open. So I don't think I'll be able to get to everyone. But I know that's wild for quite a lot of people to... That's quite wild for a lot of people to try and digest that there are. And look, guys, I'm not saying that there are. I'm saying I don't know. And I'll be quite clear about that. I want to say which way I'm slanting, but I'm not yet. But, anyway, guys, there are protests going on in Epping right now. The United Kingdom is facing absolute peril. We have been heavily subverted as a country. We have been heavily subverted. I would say our political class, they're all subverted. They don't know. Oh, hang on, there's another video. Give me a second. Around 500, I'm just reading this, guys, around 500 anti-fascist activists from London have descended on Epping to intimidate and disrupt the local organic protests. This is where it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it's going to be. It's going to be all about the organic protests. Oh, hang on. Right, let me get some comments, actually, guys. I've just been conscious that I've been monologuing for 25 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on now. Can you guys do me a massive favor? Can you share the live on whatever platforms you can? You're on. We are double stream. We're not even double streaming. We are triple streaming. We are on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We are X simultaneously streaming. Can you share my stuff, guys? Can you like, follow, comment, subscribe, all those things? Because I can pretty much guarantee what we're talking about now, nobody else is talking about. I can guarantee that. In fact, you know what, guys? How many other people on platforms have put themselves out there and said that we're under some sort of spiritual, demonic, 5G, some sort of crazy attack in the United Kingdom? I put myself out there, guys, massively. And I'll always put myself out there for you guys. I've said crazy stuff before. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say crazy stuff in the future. It's not always, I'm not always right, but I always try to be right. And when I felt this last night in bed, guys, when I felt this last night in bed, it just was not normal, guys. It was not normal. Sarah was asleep on the settee outside, not on the settee, not even near the settee, on the landing outside. She was feeling sick. I just needed to get out and walk. And then I spoke to everybody I know, and everybody witnessed the same. And then I put it out on the group chat. And everybody, not everybody, the vast majority of people last night in the United Kingdom, from my research, the vast majority of people, the vast majority of people that I've read comments from on one of the last posts I did, they witness the same, guys. They witness the same. So I'm with that. I'm pretty confident to say that my analysis, my speculation, my opinion would be that last night the United Kingdom came under some sort of attack, guys. I don't know what it was. Hang on. Right. Right, Googly, who is saying whoever couldn't sleep last night had the no Googly, because I've not had that. Neither has Sarah, and the kids certainly haven't had it. And the kids were fine actually last night. But certainly me and certainly Sarah have not had that. Lammy 1114 is saying, look at the Schumann resonance. Yeah, I've been looking at this, guys, and there's some absolutely crazy stuff happening. Listen, for all you guys that were saying it was a certain medication that we had to take like a couple of years ago, that doesn't affect that. That wouldn't be relevant to me, and I certainly felt it, guys. I certainly felt it. James is saying Jesus is about to return. This will be terrifying. Turn to the Lord. Guys, look, I don't know. I don't know what this is. I'm not ruling anything out. It certainly wasn't natural. It certainly was. Listen, guys, when I talk about natural stuff, I've got a background in aviation. I've got a background in the military. You know, I understand physics, certainly classical physics. You know, I can't explain what happened last night. If somebody can explain to me, like, oh yeah, Sean, it was the water that everyone drank, right? Okay, why was this happening all over the country? Right, okay, if somebody can explain to me why vast amounts of people in the United Kingdom last night between 12 and 3 o'clock, obviously some before, some after, woke up feeling scared, anxious, confused, needed to get out of the house, dogs barking. If you can explain to me why that, like a legitimate explanation to why that happened, I'm all open, guys, all right? Because if you can't explain that with something that can be explained in the physical world, then you have to start looking in the metaphysical. There's no caveat, guys, all right? If you can't explain it with known physics, you have to start looking at unknown physics. And this is what we're talking about now, guys, all right? We're talking about unknown stuff. I definitely don't know what, and you know, I'm not going to say I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know that I don't know what I'm talking about. But I will. I'll come up with a working solution. Maxine Cooper is saying, hi, Sean. I'm saying hi back. Coral Reefing is saying, I slept like a log, but only had I only had one of the injections. Right, guys, it's got nothing to do with people it's got nothing to do with people who've had certain medications, right? I've not had any of those medications. Sarah's not had any of those medications. You know, so I know that's not it. I don't know what it is, guys. I don't know what it is, but it's something that is crackers. I am here. He's saying, I couldn't sleep last night either, and my 4-year-old woke up at 3 a.m., which is very unusual for him. Guys, look, so much stuff unusual. Like, go and check out the comments on my last live stream. I did a video like earlier on. The comments on that, guys, are absolutely wild. In fact, I'll read you some of them in a minute. Louis Lynch is saying, have you seen the new crowd control device used in other countries for 1 million people protest? No, I have not seen a crowd control device, but I did get a medal in Northern Ireland for bravery after climbing on a crowd control or crowd control obstacle. Tabby is saying, don't turn to religion. That's what they want you to do. Fear and control. Tabby, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't, listen, guys, I'm not sitting here telling you I've got the answer. What I'm doing is I'm sitting here and telling you something's not right. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Could have been solar flares, could have been non-nuclear EMP, could have been 5G attack, could have been could have been a load of like spiritual mages sat somewhere going blah, 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 and sending negative energy over. I don't know, guys, right? Could have been aliens from the moon. I don't know why it would. Like I said earlier, guys, all right, I spoke to a spiritualist. You know, I did speak to a spiritualist this morning, sorry. She told me, she said, look, Sean, you're not going to understand this, but there's, she actually said, that, guys, listen, this is what she said. She said, there's a spiritual uprising happening right now. The forces of good and the forces of evil are fighting, and there's about to be a change. We can't see it, but we can feel it. I'm not going to mention that again, guys, all right, because that is absolutely woohoo. And even when I'm saying it, I'm trying to logicalize this. I'm trying to logicalize this and put it together with maths and science and physics and, you know, gravity. But that's what was said, and I can't explain it, guys. Something happened last night. D. Marie Gen X is saying there are lots of solar flares and electromagnetic storms last night. Maybe that's why it was, guys. Maybe it was a solar flare. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Right, guys, there's over 50 comments. I'm going to jump down because I don't have a chance to get them all. Mike Patton is saying, I slept like a baby. Yes, a lot of people did sleep well, guys, all right? And I'll be quite fair. Lots of people did sleep well. But more people were messaging saying between the hours of 1 and 3, between the hours of 12 and 3, strange things were happening. I can't explain it, guys. I can't explain it. James is saying the spiritualists are satanic, matey. Look, guys, I don't know. Although I do know that, who wants a rabbit hole? Who wants a rabbit hole, guys? Who wants a rabbit hole to jump down? What's his name? God, what's his name? What's his name? George Bush. George Bush. George Bush. Right. You guys know what I'm going to say, right? You guys know what I'm going to say, right? His wife, Barbara Bush. Go and do some research about Barbara Bush's mum and her relationship with Aleister Crowley. That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. If you guys want a rabbit hole to go down that rabbit hole, guys, okay? Aleister Crowley and Barbara Bush's mum. If you guys want to go down a rabbit hole, guys, there you go. Anyway, Lewis Lynch is saying 2028 deadly zombie virus released. Wait and see. Oh, guys, listen. I'm not gonna lie, Lewis Lynch. I'm not gonna lie. I would be well up for the zombie apocalypse. I mean, if there's gonna be an apocalypse, pray that it be the zombie apocalypse, not the alien apocalypse, because I'd much rather. I think I'd come into my own with the zombie apocalypse. With the alien apocalypse, guys, I'd be struggling. Tony is saying you're always lying. Just quickly, Tony. When you was at primary school, the teachers will have probably told you ing kills the e, and I know when you're writing lying, it's like a y. It's a bit of a strange one. Also, look, I'm not going to be grammar police. I know what you're saying, mate. I'm always lying. I'm really not always lying. You'd be surprised how much I don't lie. I really tell the truth. Right, Tony, my good friend, good sir, I'm assuming you're a gentleman because I can't see your picture. Tony, can you just let me know what I'm lying at, mate, and we'll talk about it. I'm happy with that. Lewis, right, okay. Something big's coming 13th of September. Yeah, it's that march in London, isn't it? Look, guys, all right. So I do want to focus on what's happening in the United Kingdom, guys, with the hotels, the protests, the summer of carnage, the direction, the online censorship bill, all this stuff's, all this stuff's crazy. Let's not forget that right now there's this asteroid or whatever it's called heading towards Earth, and that is heading towards Earth, and that's supposed to be here round about November time, making its closest pass round about November time. Now, again, a little bit weird, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit weird. Why is Halloween in October? Could it be the veil or our part in the cosmos in October? We move through a place in the universe where the veil between the physical and the metaphysical is less pronounced, and things can cross over. Wouldn't that be a perfect time if aliens were coming and aliens were demons and they were on some sort of asteroid? I don't know, guys. I'm just putting things down. I'm just throwing things out there. Right, Tony is saying that's not true. It's 1,000,000 miles away. Right, what are you talking about then, Tony? What's not true, Tony? Right, Tony, this is the Raven Show, right? This is the Raven Show. I'm giving you respect, mate, because I want to help you. I genuinely want to, I want to give you, I want to have feedback from you. So, Tony, when you're trying to say something, mate, you need to let me know you've just put a comment saying that's not true. What exactly, Tony? Because I'm struggling I'm trying to help you here, mate. Tony's saying that's not true. What's not true? I don't know. So try and just put it together in a little sentence what you're trying. It's 1,000,000 miles away. Again, I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean. I hope you're gonna get back to me with something legible, Tony, but I can't turn this into the Tony show. I really can't. You know, he's fabricating the reality. Tony, I love you, but you're gonna have to go. This trailer park's got to go. Right, where's he gone? Yeah, you know, Tony, you had your chance, mate. You had your chance. Tony had his chance. He had a good innings. Now he's gone. It's done. It's done, guys. All right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mind people heckling me. And do you know what? If anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you. I encourage it. I encourage it. Call me out, ladies and gentlemen. If you're gonna do that, all right. If you're gonna do that, try and articulate it better than a 14-year-old Labrador, all right, that can't reach the keys, all right, and I think that's been a bit rude to Labradors as well, guys. Right, we're going to jump back onto what's happening in Epping, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I'm going to give you guys an update from Epping. We've got a little speech. Right, so I think this is the anti-racist speech now, guys.
Yeah. So I'm Vice President of the Union. We represent about 500,000 teachers and educators up and down the country. We are the people who look after your children. We are the people who protect your children. We are the people who teach them.
That sounds ominous.
Day in, day out. The people up there have no interest in protecting kids. Absolutely none. They are only here to stoke racial hatred. And I say to those people, the enemies of working people in this country are not crossing the channel in small boats. The enemies of working people in this country are not staying in hotels in Epping. The enemies of working people in this country are flying around the Med on super yachts. They are flying around the world on private jets, and they are robbing us blind. They are the enemies of working people in this country, not refugees and migrants. And as Wayman said, a lot of these people who are crossing the channel, their first impression of the British is when a bomb drops on their house. So we've got a political class who are warmongers, and we are saying books, not bombs.
Oh, I can't listen to this guy. I really can't listen to this guy. I mean, I can only assume. Do you know who he sounds like, right? You know this guy. Google it. I'm going to look on YouTube in a minute, buddy. Do you know who he sounds like to me? Can you remember the guy? I've told you the story how I went to last year. I went to my friend's. My friend was having a barbecue. I went to his house. We was having a barbecue. He sounds like the guy who was calling me gammon, and he's like, "What's wrong, Sean? You scared of the doctors taking your jobs? When was the last time you had to see? When was the last time you saw an English doctor? What's wrong, Sean? You scared?" I'm like, "All right, mate." He's calling me Brexit boy. He's calling me gammon. You know. And then I went to speak to him a couple of days. Well, I didn't go to speak to him. I saw him a couple of months ago, whatever, I can't remember. He's actually had the sack now, and the people that have taken over his job don't speak English as their first language. So the worm has totally turned with that guy. He was saying things that were absolutely disgusting, like, you know, and I had to say, so I said, mate, you can't say that. Genuinely can't say that about people. And I think people think that if you want to, like, I want a strong military, I want a strong police, I want a strong government, I want strong laws. People think if you want those things, you're like, you hate everybody else, and you want to, you're just for yourself. Like, oh, hang on a minute. When has a civilization thrived that was not for themselves? I'm not going to listen to the rest of his speech, guys. But do you know what I will say? I think it'd be good if that speaker could go and speak to the other crowd, and if they just listened. And I'll be clear on both sides, guys, you know. And then if the speaker from the Protect Our Kids side could go over to those guys and speak, and if they would just listen. I know that's not going to happen, but it'd be good if they could just listen to each other's opinions, because I think there would be a lot more that there's a lot more that unites these people than divides these people. And looking at the crowds, guys, again, I say it all the time. I'm looking at the crowds now, and they've all got the same banners. They've all got the same banners. They've all got the same banners left, they've all got the same banners, printed, mass-produced, and they're all waving them in unison. And, it is what it is, guys, right? You can see what these guys are. Hundreds gather at Essex Asylum Hotel. Right, I'm just jumping down. Oh, that's a nice picture. Right, I'm going to jump onto YouTube because Google is asking me to go on YouTube. Lead Balloon over on YouTube, if I'll pin this, Lead Balloon over on YouTube is saying the government will love the divide. Yes, exactly. The government will love the divide. Part of ideological subversion. Mac C, excuse me. I think the UK needs some new political parties for people to vote for. The problem isn't the political parties, guys. The problem is the political system. Doesn't matter who you vote for, they're still part of this system. For example, you can vote for Nigel Farage, right? You can vote for Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage will get in and everybody will think, oh, we've got our Donald Trump. We ain't got our Donald Trump, guys, because the system isn't set the same in the United Kingdom. Hang on. Right. Freddie is asking on YouTube, Sean, search that video title for title. What? All right. What? Right. Google it. Freddie, I'm struggling. I've got a lot of information. Can you let me know what video I need to search for? And I'll search for it now. I'm looking on YouTube, guys. I do apologize. I've totally abandoned the YouTube, guys. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm on in the mornings, I will always prioritize the TikTok chat. But in the evenings, the chat's open and it's getting wild. Right, okay, hang on. Whoa, that's wild, Googly. This is wild, guys. Let me get this up. Protesters in Norwich near... Right, let me get this in. Right, Right. What article are we looking at, guys? Protesters in Norwich near hotel housing asylum seekers clash with the police. Right, I'm just getting this up from Sky News, guys. A protest outside a hotel housing. Yeah, guys. Look, first of all, right, there's protests breaking out all over the place in the United Kingdom right now. It's very difficult to to focus on one area. It's very difficult to get all of them. So I am focusing on it's on the YouTube video. So I am focusing on those. I'm focusing on Epping, but I will. All right, it's a YouTube video. So give me a second, guys. Right, I'm just getting this video up, guys. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining for the first time and you've not done so already, can you hit that like, follow, comment, subscribe, bell notification, whatever platform you're watching on? Yeah, so I'm looking at the scenes now, guys, from this protest in Norwich, and when you look at these protests, try and look at people's faces. Try and look at people's faces, all right? That tells you a lot about those people. If they're like having a nice time, talking to each other, you know, we are the people, what are you? And you know, kind of like a carnival. If they're having like a carnival, they're not serious, all right? I'm looking at the faces of these people in Norwich. These are angry people, guys, all right? These are angry people who pay their taxes and who feel that the government are not looking at them, guys, all right? Who are not looking at them. But, you know, it does look like, I mean, there's a lot of energy in that crowd, guys. There's a lot of energy in that crowd. Yeah, and Freddie over on YouTube is just saying, look at the numbers and the police being overwhelmed. So, you know, guys, this is, all right, Associated Press. So these guys, you know, when we said, didn't we, that these, you know, that these people would be, you know, that they would be overrun. Hang on. Yeah, that's the one I just looked at, Google, the Associated Press. And then Jane Taylor over on YouTube is saying, anyone see the attack on a nurse? No, I didn't. Very seriously injured before her. Whoa. No, I did not see that. I did not see that at all, guys. I did not see that. Mr. Mister is saying, big up the lasses winning the football. Right, okay, so the England girls team have won the football. Let me have a look. Let me see what the score was there. Let's see what they did. Let's see what they did. Oh, it says 1-1, doesn't it? Oh, no, 3-1 on penalties. So they won 3-1 on penalties. Oh, well done to them. I mean, guys, look, you know, for me, again, you know, I told you I was probably going to lose followers in this live stream. All right. For me, football's not something that really serves me. You know, I get it. I would prefer England to win than lose, obviously. Ultimately, like, you know, I've still got my gas bill to pay. I've still got my electricity bill to pay. I've still got my mortgage. I've still got all my bills to pay. So I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna throw a lot of energy out there going and like supporting these teams or whatever. Especially not the men's teams. You know, if anything, I probably go against the men's teams. Kaz on YouTube is saying, any of the protests going down Downing Street? I don't want any protests to go down to Downing Street. There's been enough. There's been enough protests in Downing Street in London over the years. If anything, if that was going to make any difference, you know, that would have already happened. I think the real protests and the real movement, the real direction is going to be at local level. And I've said that so many times, guys. I've said that so many times. The problem to this is going to be a local problem. Now, I'm looking at the scenes from Norwich. I'm looking at the scenes from Epping. There's scenes from there's scenes from Leeds. There's scenes from all over the country. You know, and people are just not having this anymore. Remember, when we move into whatever it is we're moving into right now, guys, all right, these things are going to become more and more pronounced. Now, let me just jump back to Epping, guys, and give you guys an update, because I really do think this one in Epping, it is kind of ground zero. Let me just refresh this screen. So this is a comment somebody just put. Watched the Epping and Manchester protests on live stream today. So guys, I didn't even know there was a protest in Manchester today. And this is what I mean. It's going to get to a stage where there's so much stuff happening. Like, how are the police going to keep up with this, guys? Really, how are the police going to keep up with this? So watch the Epping and Manchester. I'm just reading a comment, guys. Watch the Epping and Manchester protests on live stream today. Well done to all concerned for not taking the bait from the antis all bussed in and escorted. Very aggressive for the hour they were there, then all shipped back out again. Fantastic. It's like, to contextualize this, it really is like, it's unprecedented, guys. It is unprecedented. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining for the first time, we are talking about the United Kingdom hit by a massive attack. Unprecedented events hitting all over the United Kingdom right now. Sometimes, and guys, I'll be quite honest with you, some of the stuff I've been talking about today, I don't have an explanation for it because it can't be explained. But Epping is the ground zero for me, guys. Epping is ground zero. Oh, hang on. Right, are we supposed to, right, are we supposed to, right, guys, because somebody fill me in on this. You know, we heard last week that Tommy Robinson was supposed to be going down to Epping. Like, what's happened with that? I saw him do a video saying he didn't think he was right. And listen, guys, I'll be quite honest. I don't think it would be right for him to go down either. You know, this has been done at local level. And what's happening, and I think all these things should be at local level, because when you kind of like rely on outside agencies, that's when you start to put too much reliance on them, and then when they let you down, everything falls apart. So, you know, I do think that the best way forward is to do this at local level, guys. You know, I really do. Right, I don't know whether I don't know whether I'm being restricted, guys. I don't know whether I'm being restricted because I'm not seeing much from Epping at the moment. I don't know if it's this new I don't know if it's this new online safety bill. And listen, did you guys, you know when the online safety bill passed? And one of the things I said straight away was, right, okay, guys, the online safety bill, it seems like a good thing, and who could not say it's a good thing, you know? Kids have less access to bad things on the internet, which is a good thing. You know, the problems lie when in a year, in a month, in 2 months, the next day, some politician says, look, clause 14b states that members of parliament under emergency circumstances can temporarily change the yada, 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 the algorithms, without oversight, without any question. That's where the problems are going to come in, guys, right? Because what does temporary mean? Like, what, in fact, you know what? Let's just Google what does the word temporary mean. I mean, we know what temporary means. Lasting for a limited period of time, not permanent. So I guess everything's temporary, isn't it? Like I'm here temporary, you're here temporary. Yeah, so like temporary, you see how they're using the words there, guys? And, you know, we all know what temporary means, but the definition of temporary means only for a limited amount of time. That limited amount of time is not specified. So 50 years, 100 years. So you know they're putting migrants into temporary accommodation. That could be for 100 years. Could be for 1,000 years. You know, literally that still fits in that remit of temporary. You know, and it's just wordplay. It's wordsmithing, I guess. Narrative says, I just watched your video about sleeping last night. I was in agony trying to sleep. Yeah, guys, listen, you know, I mean, so many people. So I'm just pinning this from Narth. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Narrr, or is it RR? Narrth, I think. You know, so many people in the UK last night were, so many people in the United Kingdom last night were struggling with the sleep. I mean, in our house, I was up walking around confused. I didn't know whether I was anxious. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know whether I was dreaming. Sarah was asleep on the landing. I just needed to get out of the house. So I'm walking around the garden at like 2 o'clock, at 10 past 2. I remember looking at my watch. In fact, for some reason, it stopped working. I don't know if that's the thing, guys. I don't know if that's the thing. My watch has stopped working. I don't know. But, no, hang on. Sorry. Sometimes I keep the screen prompts on YouTube for a little bit too long. So I was outside last night. I was walking around. I was confused. We spoke to our friends and family. We spoke to our immediate friends and family. Everybody was saying the same thing. It was unbelievable. Now, I don't know what this was, guys. I'll be honest with you. Could have been a solar flare, could have been an EMP attack, could have been a 5G attack, could have been a spiritual attack, could have been some sort of demonic attack, some sort of angelic attack, could have been the second coming. I genuinely don't know. But what I can't explain this away with is known physics, guys. I can't explain this away with known physics. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to jump over there a minute and turn a light on because I'm just conscious that the light's going and you guys want to see my beautiful face and hair. I know you do. I know you do. So give me a second to jump over there and turn that light on. I'll be right back. I am back. Freddie is saying, Sean, what's your thoughts on the UK agreeing to defend Taiwan full force? Well, first of all, we don't really have that much of full force. We can't really give that much full force to Taiwan. What we can do, the bulk of the army, when this kicks off, the bulk of the army will be deployed into Ukraine, and any conflict that is any conflict in and around Taiwan is going to be a naval conflict. It really is, guys. It's going to be a massive naval conflict. Now, the UK does have two relative aircraft carriers. Now, I wouldn't go with aircraft carriers. I tried to get the government back in. I tried to get money off the government in 2016 to refurbish an old cargo ship. I was going to refurbish a cargo ship into a drone aircraft carrier, and rather than have expensive fast jets, your best F-35s and all your expensive kit, I would literally have inside there. I would put a runway on the top. I would be fabricating drones inside and building drones task specific. That would be an absolute fraction of a cost of an aircraft carrier. But Britain does have two relatively competent aircraft carriers and strike carrier groups. So I think that's what's going to be involved in that region. Jane Taylor is saying, how many 5G towers nearby? We have two local to me. I don't know how many 5G towers we have close to us. I do know, remember when we was all in lockdown, like when the crazy times were? I can remember those 5G towers getting thrown up, and I was thinking, hang on a minute, how's Wi-Fi essential? Like, I don't know, but was it like that where you live? I don't know. Certainly where we live, I don't even know if they're 5G. I don't know what's on them, guys. I'll be honest. We call them 5G towers. How do we really know what's on top of them? How do we really know what sensors they've got on them? How do we really know what is there? How do we really know, guys? How do we really know what those towers are emitting, transmitting, receiving? I don't know, but we call them 5G towers. Yes, we do call them 5G towers. They were thrown up at an alarming rate. When we were all on lockdown. Oh! Did you see how scared I was then, guys? Did you see how scared I was? Oh, I can't refresh. Right. Couldn't load image. Refresh to try again. Hang on. Give me a second, guys. Right, it's not really right. They may be kicking me off in a second, guys. I may be kicked off in a minute. Ryan is saying, yes, exactly. Oh, God. Listen, Ryan, we were feeling, look, I'm going to pin this comment. Where's Ryan? Ryan, This is how we were feeling last night, mate. Okay, this is literally how we were feeling last night. And so many people have been putting the same thing in the comments. So many people have been putting in the comments the exact same thing. And I'm calling it, guys. You know, I believe the UK was hit by a massive attack last night. I don't know what kind of attack. I don't know how. I don't know when. Well, I do know when, between 12 and 3. But too many people, you know, if it was just me and Sarah, right? If it was just me and Sarah out of bed, you know, I'm walking around like a zombie, you know, Sarah's on the floor outside on the landing going, oh, I just want to sleep here. I don't know where I'm going. You know, if that was just us, I'd have been like, yeah, maybe we ate something. Maybe we ate something dodgy, or maybe it was that steak I cooked. You know, that's what I would have put it down to. Then I asked my sister, exactly the same thing with her and her husband. Sarah asked all her friends, family. We've been asking literally everybody that we know on a personal, like, WhatsApp messages, and, you know, can call them up. You know, everybody said exactly the same thing, guys. All right. That's why I did a video. Something happened last night, guys. I don't know what it was. TikTok is not letting me re-verify this, guys, so I'm going to have to cut this live. Is going to cut itself off because I can't verify that I'm on the live stream, which is very peculiar. No, I can't refresh it. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I guess it doesn't matter. You know, I'm gonna jump over to YouTube now. Anyway, I'm gonna jump over to YouTube and X. We will keep talking. We will keep talking about this, guys, over on YouTube and X. Literally, the TikTok's gonna kick me off in like in 1 minute 50 seconds. So I'm gonna have to jump over. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not done so already, can you hit those buttons? The like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, all those channels that help me out, guys. I really do appreciate it. We're going to be jumping over to YouTube. We're going to be continuing this conversation in YouTube, guys. Yeah, Chris is saying that happened on a live last night I watched. They had to restart. Yeah, guys, I can't restart. This live is going to kick me off in like just under a minute. So I'm going to jump over to YouTube, guys. My name on YouTube is The Real Raven 1. I'm streaming on there. The link is in the bio. I'm going to jump rather than be pushed, and I will see you guys hopefully in the morning if I'm allowed back on. I don't know. I can't close it now. I can't do anything. I can't close the live stream down. This is weird. I don't even know what's happening, right? I can't refresh the screen to say that I'm still live, but I can't close the live stream down. This is bonkers. I mean, do I do a dance? What do I do? Yeah, I'm cooked, guys. I'm just gonna have to let this count down. I'm gonna have to let this count down, guys. If you want to jump over now, I'm on YouTube. Your YouTube is not working. My YouTube is fine, guys. My YouTube is fine. I am on YouTube. People are jumping over on YouTube. Everything's fine on YouTube. I've got a few seconds left, ladies and gentlemen, and then I think he's going to close me down. It's not letting me verify. I can't verify. I can't close it down. I'm going to jump off screen, guys, and get myself a little drink out of the water. I'm going to get myself a bottle of water out of the fridge. If I can find one. 16 seconds. We've got 16 seconds, and then I think it's going to kick me off. This is so weird, guys. It's so weird. It's not like 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gone. Am I gone? It's not even disconnecting me. Why won't it disconnect now? Your live, right, okay, your live was disconnected. That is so weird. So weird, because I was totally online. Trying to push that button, but it did not let me push that button for whatever reason. Right, I guess we're off. We are off with those we're off with that. We're off with those guys, you know, those guys who are very, very restrictive. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what happened last night. I genuinely don't. I don't know what happened. Let me read some of the comments, actually. And again, you know, this is one of those wild ones. Just let me read some of these comments, guys, okay? Right, I'm just jumping on these comments, guys. No, do I have to do it here as well? Please, no. I've got to do it here as well. He's saying I've got to verify again on here. Honestly, sometimes I just want to throw this through the window. Failed. Right, give me a second. Yeah, success. Right, we're good. We are good. We are good, and we are on. We're on. Right, so just going to read you some of these comments, guys. Jesus, guys, look, I'm not making this up. If I wasn't, I give you my own stuff, right? I don't copy other people. I don't think, oh, that video's doing well. I do my own shit, guys. All right, I don't care what other people think. So I'm reading comments now that I've not read before. So, Jesus, this is insane. I was literally unable to sleep last night. Felt uncomfortable in my own skin. Yeah, exactly. Anxious and weird. I felt like I had drank a gallon of... Yeah, which is exactly the same. Schumann resonance. What else have we got? Bad night last night. I'm in Leicester. Hardly slept at all last night. Really weird. I'm not making these up, guys. I'm just reading these comments on that last post. Was okay, but woke up at 3 and did not sleep again until 6. Mate, last night, couple of nights, never slept so bad. Can't sleep through it. I can sleep through anything. I felt proper strange. These are literally just comments that I'm reading now, guys, that are in the last couple of minutes. I haven't slept all week, broken sleep. My son keeps getting in bed with me too. Poland, woke up at 3:15, so just after 2 UK time, had a very scary and realistic dream. Had to do a cleansing protection visualization before I went back to sleep. So Poland? So is this like a global thing now? I didn't even consider that this could be a global thing. I woke up at 2 a.m. till about 4, and I usually sleep right through. Very weird. It's just like the comments are on and on, guys, you know, about the exact same stuff. People, you know, I think the first one I read, Jesus, this is insane. I was literally unable to sleep last night. I felt uncomfortable in my own skin. People have been saying the same stuff, guys, and it's not me. I'm not writing these comments. Go and look at these comments. It's not me. I did feel it too, and I'm not getting out there going, oh, I had a feeling. Oh, you know, what's that guy who did that Most Haunted? That Scouser. David, I don't know, yeah, like grey hair. I can't remember what his name was, like David something. And like, he was like the Jewish spiritualist, and he used to go in there and he said, I can feel the spirits around here, la, and they're all over. All these spirits, they're trying to get me wallet. Hey, you scally, get off me. And then, like, as the series progressed, he started getting possessed and stuff. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm literally saying what I felt, and people are commenting their own experiences. So when you get enough anecdotal data, something's got to be happening, guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I genuinely don't know what it is, guys. I don't know what it is. Right, let me jump up and get some of these comments, guys. Let me jump up and get some of these comments. Carolina Ritchie saying, jumped over. I was watching the clip. Coral reefing was sent me. Gemma Beadle says, it wasn't just us. My dog, cat, and even bearded. Yeah, guys, my sister's dogs were going absolutely bonkers. My sister's dogs were going absolutely bonkers. Lincolnshire Templar is saying Derek. Oh, and then Christopher Morton saying Derek. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Sorry, the guy that was on that Most Haunted. Yeah. Sorry. His name was Derek Akora. Yeah, Derek Akora. I love Derek. again, you know, Steph's saying, Sean, I slept great last night, but that's not to say I haven't experienced it before. Yeah, a lot of people did sleep well last night, but more people overwhelmingly did not. More people overwhelmingly last night, guys, experienced something. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I'm not going to say it's a demonic attack. I'm not going to say it's an EMP. I'm not going to say it's a 5G tower. I'm not going to say it's a solar flares. What I'm going to say is I'm going to get to the bottom of this, guys, all right? Because there's no way I'm letting this one lie. I'm not letting this one lie and saying, oh, yeah, it was just a bad night's sleep I had. No. Last night wasn't just a bad night's sleep. Last night, something happened, guys, all right? Whatever it was, I think whatever it was, I think it was some sort of attack, guys, all right? Now, I don't know what type of attack that was. Could be a 5G attack, could be a spiritual attack, could be a demonic attack. I don't know. But I believe the United Kingdom had some sort of an attack. And do you know what? We've just heard messages from people in Poland. So, you know, maybe this is an international thing. And Steph's saying, I've experienced it a lot recently. I don't think it's an isolated event. Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers, guys. Absolutely bonkers. You know, I don't know what it was. Remember, you know, I did say I spoke to a spiritualist, and she told me that not the United Kingdom. She said there's a spiritual war going on at the moment between good and evil, and there's a spiritual uprising. Now, look, guys, I'll be quite clear with you. To me, that sounds wild. It does. It sounds absolutely bonkers. Bonkers. And like, if I hadn't have experienced this, and if you guys hadn't put in the comments, like if the comment section was dry and it was like, weirdo, what you on about? Slept fine. If the comment section was dry, I'd be like, yeah, it was just me. It was just us. Whatever happened, I don't know. But look at the comments, guys. Look at the comments. I didn't write them. You see where I'm going with this? You see where I'm going with this? Something happened last night, guys. I don't know what it was. Carolina Ritchie is saying, I wake up 2 a.m. every night, overthirsty, needed water, weird vivid dreams. It's crazy. But I'm going through this for more than a year. I need to do a full clearing. Witchy Lab is saying, Witchy Lab is saying, I wonder if the ones that had the hippie jab didn't sleep well. Ones that did sleep okay. Right, guys, I didn't have any hippie jab. I didn't have any I didn't do the thing. I didn't do the thing. I did not do the thing, guys. I didn't do the thing. Sarah didn't do the thing. We were up swizzling like a swizzler. You know, we were up swizzling like a swizzler, so it can't be that. Maxine Cooper is saying, do some grounding, walk on grass, barefoot, meditate, drink. Maxine, this would work if this was just me. So say that this was just me, all right? Say that this was just me, and me and Sarah, or just me. And I'm like, yeah, I can't sleep at night. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. This is the whole country. This is something bigger than somebody's own personal anxiety or like sleeping problems. This is a lot bigger. You know, this is a lot bigger. It's absolutely crazy. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go now because it's the summer holidays. The kids are off school. We're going to go and have a little bit of a barbecue, have some steaks. I hope you guys are fine. I really do. If you've not done so and you're on this, I totally missed that, didn't I? If you're watching and you've not done so already, ladies and gentlemen, can you hit those buttons down below? The like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, the buttons up here. I don't know where they are on X. Maybe they're up here, or I don't know. I know on YouTube they're down below, down at the bottom. Just a little touch of your finger, guys, and it really helps me out with the algorithm. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it was bonkers last night. I do believe something was afoot last night, guys. I will get to the bottom of it. I'll do another video saying what I think the most likely. I'll probably do an immediate video tomorrow. Saying what my general thoughts are. And then I need to do a deep dive into this, guys, because it's not normal. It's not normal that the whole country has sleep craziness. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared going to bed tonight. Anyway, guys, I will speak to you guys in the morning, and have a great weekend. What's left of it.